The Detroit Lions still have concerns at pass rusher, and while we wait for clarity on Marcus Davenport's injury, nobody can honestly say how this plays out in the next few days. So here's the question right now. Are the Lions willing to ride the storm with internal answers opposite Aiden Hutchinson? Or is this the moment that forces an outside move that reshapes the edge room before it reshapes the season? Welcome back to Lions News Fan Report. If you live and breathe Honolulu blue, tap subscribe and drop a like because we're going to cut through the noise. Lay out what's real, what's coaching smoke, what's wishful thinking, and what absolutely has to happen on Monday night and beyond. Now let's talk football, not fairy tales, because the clock doesn't stop for uncertainty, and the schedule sure won't wait for the pass rush to figure itself out. You know the timeline games that happen around a Monday night. Everything feels pushed one day to the right. The radio hit, the report, the practice ramp, the clarity. None of it moves fast enough for the anxiety of a fan base that can count the edges in the room without taking a breath. The only thing worse than bad news is vague news, and a second opinion almost always sets off that smoke alarm in the back of your mind. If you're like me, you've got the Davenport jersey hanging off the chair's stubborn optimism on a hanger, because if IR becomes more than a rumor, that thing goes into the closet with the loud sigh of a storyline that never got a fair shot. But football doesn't pause for anyone's wardrobe. The staff still has to set a plan. The room still needs a tone setter opposite 97. And the opponent doesn't care that your rotation is in flux. Let's revisit how we got here. All summer the message out of Allen Park was measured confidence. We like our guys. We're good with our room. We don't have to chase every veteran name that flashes across social media. Translation: the staff believed development plus scheme could cover the margin, that the collective could equal a star across from Hutchinson, that you can hunt pressure with 4 and hit the quarterback with stunts, movement, games, and relentless effort. That bet never look crazy Hutch is a walking game plan. Interior additions beefed up the bull rush and reset the pocket depth, and the coaches got comfortable living in that 4-man world. But injuries don't care about your summer thesis. And when the chessboard loses a key edge, you feel it immediately. Contain fits wobble. Your simulated pressures need a higher hit rate. And the "we're good" quote starts to trend with a different energy. Enter Al-Quaid Muhammad, a veteran the league knows, a grinder's grinder. He isn't the shiny new edge that turns thumbnails into fireworks. But if you've actually watched him when the snap count rises, you know what you're getting. Compress the edge discipline, hands that stay busy, a first step that plays with leverage instead of chasing a false speed rush, and a mentality that says, do your job on early downs to earn a green light on third. Coaches love guys who make the defense right, and that's Muhammad's lane. You can stack a tight end, set the edge on duo, walk a tackle back just enough to force a quarterback to climb. And when the pocket hitches, he'll counter through the B to put a shoulder on the throw. That's why the staff keeps talking about him as a significant role guy. It's not headline bait. It's a nod to the stuff that holds a plan together when the front is one injury away from improvisation. Let's be plain. Living off Hutchinson's brilliance isn't a plan. It's a prayer. The history here is familiar names that flashed, depth that filled snaps, stretches where by committee sounded fine, until the game script begged for one more instant win off the right tackle. We've seen the carousel spin from Romeo to Julian to Charles to the rental that never became a marriage. When Hutch fell into Detroit's lap, it changed the gravitational pull of the defense. He's the sun. But every solar system needs a second massive body to tilt the field, or you end up asking your secondary to hold routes a half second too long and your interior to do 2 jobs with 1 gap. That's how big this moment is. Either Muhammad and whoever else steps into the rotation push the pressure rate up without breaking contain. Or you go shopping. Now look at the assignment on deck. You're going to get a quarterback who turns your edge rush into an IQ test squeeze too hard and he bounces. Rush wild and he splits it. Lose track of rush lanes and he'll climb into daylight and make your backside pursuit look like it's running on sand. This is a mush-rush week married to calculated violence. Tackle through the upfield shoulder. Keep your outside foot down, fold the pocket in a half moon. Make him set his feet into the teeth of the interior. and rally from depth. That only works if the non-Hutch edge wins his piece of the geometry. If Muhammad shrinks the key gap with power and your interior walk the guards back 6 inches at a time, you put that quarterback into throws where your corners can actually steal one. But if you lose contain twice in the first quarter, the whole call sheet tightens and you start chasing ghost dot. So how do you help the edge if you don't want to abandon your 4-man ethos? Mix your presentations without telegraphing pressure. Show 5 at the line and drop out. Walk a backer into the B gap and bluff a green dog. Widen Hutch into a true wide 9 on passing downs while you reduce the opposite end to a heavy 5, so the tackle can't cheat a set. Run your text games at the right moments, not just to be cute, but to exploit that guard who oversets to the bull. When you do bring heat, make it mean, nickel off the slot into the quarterback's throwing hand with safety rotation pre-snap to sell the too-high picture, or a creeper where your end peels the back and a second-level rusher replaces. All that sounds like whiteboard poetry, but it only sings if the guy opposite 97 holds up in the run game, so you can unleash it on schedule. That more than anything is where Muhammad can earn trust quickly. Personnel-wise, this is the fork in the road. You can try to fake it until the bye, or you can front-load the fix. The in-house path is obvious. Muhammad gets the bump, rotational snaps get carved up for whoever's earned them in practice. And you lean even harder into interior push to make up for the missing edge wins. If Davenport's timeline resolves in a positive way, you survive and advance. If it lingers, Brad Holmes has never been shy about creative answers. A veteran off the street who still has 8 good rushes a game. A low-cost trade for a speed rusher who's miscast in someone else's scheme. Or a hybrid backer with real bend who can live as a sub-package joker. None of those require mortgaging anything if you're disciplined. And all of them look smarter if Monday night exposes the thin ice we all feel under our feet. There's also the human factor we don't talk about enough: confidence. Defensive lines eat when they smell fear. They hesitate when the room feels patchwork. Hutchinson's energy is its own weather system. DJ Reader's presence resets the depth of the pocket, and the back 7 play faster when they trust the landmarks in front of them. 1 or 2 early team sacks, even if they come from coverage or a well-timed twist, can flip the psychology of a unit trying to prove we're good wasn't just summer talk. That's why Muhammad's first 3 series matter more than his final stat line. If he sets a violent edge twice and squeezes a boot into a throwaway, he buys the staff the right to keep the plan intact. Now, let's zoom in on matchups. The book on Baltimore's offense never changes. Force 3rd and long, build offense, and tackle with bad intentions in the flat. This is not the week to get greedy with dips and swims at open escape lanes. If Detroit wins first down, if the tight end chips aren't moving you, if the zone read is getting dented by that backside end closing with discipline, you get to hunt. The spy question is real. Do you attach a linebacker to the quarterback on key downs, or do you trust your edges and rotate a safety late to the middle of the field? Personally, I'd rather earn the spy by getting into those known passing situations. Otherwise, you're playing 10 on 10 before the ball is snapped. Either way, your second edge has to tackle like a safety and anchor like a 3-tech. That's the job description this week. What about the broader season arc? This stretch is where you find out if the identity can travel. Injuries will always test your slogans. Next man up isn't a sentence, it's a judgment day. If Muhammad strings together solid tape, the front office breathes a little easier, and Davenport's return timeline becomes a boost instead of a rescue. If the tape shows too much leakage, the calendar makes the decision for you, and there are veterans out there who can give you 20 meaningful rushes a game without blowing up the budget. That doesn't mean panic. It means ruthless honesty. You don't chase names, you chase fits. A true speed dip guy who threatens the corner opens Hutch's inside counter and makes your interior stunts lethal. A heavy-handed power end who collapses the C-gap makes your simulated pressure look exotic without actually risking coverage. Pick the constraint that unlocks your star dot, so here's where I land. And this is straight from the heart as a fan who's watched this movie too many times to fall for propaganda. I love Mohamed's mindset and the way coaches rave about his effort. And I think he can stabilize the run edge and give you just enough on money downs to keep the plan whole. I also think living on just enough is a dangerous bet for a team that's trying to stack January football like it's normal now. If Davenport's news trends positive, ride this internal plan for a week or two and reassess. If the timeline stalls or setbacks creep in, go get a veteran who wins fast sometimes, even if it's a limited pitch count. I'm not talking about a blockbuster. I'm talking about the kind of move that flips one drive a game and steals you a possession in the fourth quarter. In a league of razor's edges, that's the difference between preaching "we're good" and proving it in the only language the NFL respects: hits, hurries, and sacks when the stadium holds its breath. That's my take. Now I want yours. Do you trust the staff to squeeze real production out of Mohamed in a starter's role while Davenport heals? Or are you pounding the table for an immediate veteran addition before the schedule punches back? If you were in Brad Holmes' chair, are you waiting for the medicals or making the call tonight? Drop your thoughts below. Hit subscribe if you're riding with us all season. And let's light up the comments, because this defense will go as far as its edges take it. And in Detroit, we don't run from the hard conversations. We tackle them head on.